Hello! In the last lesson, we learned how to texture the table, and now we're gonna learn how to texture the floor and the walls. So for this, I'll select the floor over here. I'll add a new material and I'll name it floor 1 because we're gonna have multiple types of floors. Okay, so I will go into the shading and with the principal BDCF selected, make sure that before this you have Node Wrangler installed, okay? Now click on this principal BDCF, Ctrl Shift T, and in the resources that I gave you in the first lesson, you can go to floor and floor 1, and here we have to select color and normal. We don't select the roughness. I want to control the roughness for this one. Beautiful. So easy. So let's change here the map first. And on the z-axis, I will say 90 for rotation, okay? I'll change the rotation to 90. And over here, I'll change the size to 40. Actually, I want it to 0 here, like it was. Yes, this looks much better. So this is our floor. Now, I will go here to viewport shading. So now, I will go to layout. I will select the floor. I go here to viewport shading. I press tab, so I'm in edit mode now. And I will make a cut. So I press Ctrl R. And I want the cut like this, not like this. Okay? I want a cut like this. And I will left click once. And now I will move this cut to match this wall. If you're not happy where you place it, you can press G and Y to move it on the y-axis. I want to move it a little more inside, like this, so it doesn't show at all on this side. Okay, now I will go to face select here, or press 3, and select this face that we just created. Over here in the right, I will click on this plus button. I will say new, and I'll call it floor 2. And here, very important, click assign. Very important. Maybe now you don't see any change, but if you go out of edit mode and to this viewport, you can see now that the floor over here is changed. And if I change the color only to floor 2, the color is gonna change. But that's not a pretty color for my design. So I go to shading with the floor selected, floor 2, select this principal BDCF, Ctrl Shift T, go to floor 2, and here we select the color, the normal, and the roughness. And over here we can have this type of material. And I will change the scale, dragging here to 40. This looks just beautiful. Now I will go back to floor 1, and I want here in roughness to increase the roughness a little more. Let's say 0.6. Yes, this looks good. Now go to layout and let's start working on the walls. But before that, there is a very important thing that we have to do, because there is here this wall that we have, not that one, this one, that is gonna have the roof from the upstairs. It's gonna also have this section that is gonna have a metal type of look, and also it shares the ceiling from the bottom. So on this one we need 3 different materials. So let's do this one because it's a little more complicated. And after that we're gonna move on to the fun stuff. Select this one, and over here I will select floor 1, press tab to go in edit mode, and with face select, I will select only this front face, so not the bottom one, not the top one. I will click on this plus button to add a new material. I will add a new material and I say here metal, because we're gonna use this one in multiple places in our scene. So I wanted a general name for it, and I name it metal. And here I will click assign, and we're gonna make the shading in a moment. Now I'll go here, I'll I will select this ceiling, I'll click on the plus button, assign, new, and call it ceiling. Now back in object mode, we go to shading. So we assign the floor to be here. Now let's do this metal part. I will select the metal. I'll press Shift A. I'll go to texture, and here I will select the noise texture. I will create here in the converter. I will bring out a color ramp, and also I will bring out one more thing. In the vector you can find bump. Okay, now let's connect all this. So from the factor, I'll bring it here to the factor. And here, I will bring the color to base color. And again, the color, I will bring it here down to the height. And from the normal to the normal. Good. Now let's change a little more around here. I will change the scale from 5, I will say 22. And also change the roughness to 0. Over here, I will change the color in the color ramp. Click on the black spot, and here on the hex color code, I will say 414450. And on this other one, I will click on it, and on the white spot, and on the hex code, I will say like this: 2C2F3B, and press enter, and see how beautiful it looks. Also here on the bump, I think I want to decrease this a little more. Let's say 0.2. Yes, this looks good. And also decrease the roughness to, let's say, 0.3. I'll increase the specular to around that. And also the metallic, I will put it 0.5. Yes, this looks very good. I think I want to decrease this one even more. I'll say 0.1. Not enough. Let's say 0.8. No, 0.08. Yes, yes, this looks much better. Because I just want this metal feel. It was too strong, the bump. But now looks very good. We're gonna do the ceiling a little later. Now I want to create the wall textures. So select this wall with a door and say new. And here I will name this one wall 1. And now select this wall at the top with the bed, the one at the bottom, and the one at the left bottom, this one. And select the wall with the door last. Press Ctrl L, and let's copy the materials from that one. Yes, you see no difference, but if I change the base color, you can see very much difference. And here you can choose your own design of this room. Make it whatever you want, but I'll show you my way and the way I like to create this to look as realistic as possible. So for this, I will go here to shading. I will change the color, the base color, like this. Again, I'll give you a code to put here. As I said, you can choose your own design for this room, for this studio apartment, but I'll show you my way. 796D6B. So 796D6B. You can see the code here on the screen. Press enter. So this is the color that I chose because I want this apartment to look very interesting and fit the color together. I planned this color ahead so I know exactly what I want. This looks amazing because if you go to layout mode you can see how it goes together with the colors that I chose. But I still want to do some changes to these walls. First I want to change the color of this wall to make it more interesting. I don't want all the walls to be the same color. That's boring. I want something very special. So I select this wall, I press tab, and also if you can see here, this wall, if I press A, is connected to this one. I don't want to change this one. So I select only this face to the door. Okay, so that one is not selected. Good. And now with this one selected, I click on this plus button. I will assign this new material and now it becomes white. I'll create a new material and I will name it wall 2. So let's change some stuff about the wall 2 material that we just created. Okay, I will zoom out here a little bit because I know what I want to make, so I need this to be a little more clear. I will say Shift A texture and I'll add a brick texture that is gonna look nothing like a brick. I'll change it to make it a very interesting design. Okay, so with this selected, I'll add a color ramp. So I press Shift A, converter, color ramp, and I connect the color to the factor and the color from here to the base color. What I want is change the scale of this. You see this texture has a scale and here on the scale I'll say 29.7. I will create another color ramp and I will switch these two between them, and the left one I'll put it around 4 and the right one I'll put it around 6. Let's say something like this is good, and I'll connect this color to the roughness. I will change the specular to 1. Back in layout to see more clear how this looks. Okay, so now I will choose this wall and these walls from the window. Actually, I will select only this one and say new wall 3. And also over here I will select the same, the wall 3. With this selected, I will go to shading. I'll change the base color. I'll give you again the code, not this one. I'll say like exactly like this, okay? 5A4836. 5A4836. Enter. And here we're gonna change some stuff. I will change the roughness up to 1, okay? And I'll keep the specular like this and the metallic like this. Actually, for the metallic, I want here a texture, a noise texture, okay? So I'll plug this in metallic and I'll change the scale from 5 to 135 like this. to make this design a little more interesting. Okay, and here I will go to with the roughness up to 1, and with the detail I'll keep it like this. Now we have to texture one more thing, and this lesson is gonna be done. Over here I have the ceiling that I didn't add any texture to it, but before we add texture, let's also apply for this one. So I'll choose the ceiling so we can do them together. Okay, so with this ceiling selected, I will first click on this one that I just created from the window, or this one. I will select both of them, the noise texture and the principal BDCF. I will right click and say copy, and now I go back to the ceiling and I delete this one, pressing X on it, right click, paste, and here I'll connect this one over here, and now it has the same color, but I do not want that. I want to change the color but have a similar texture to this. Okay, so the color is gonna be exactly like this. You copy this number or you make your own. So I say B08F78. Press enter. And now I'll change the scale of this noise texture to 300. I will decrease a little this roughness because I feel it's too big. Let's say 0.6. And over here to specular, I think I'll increase this one also. Let's say 0.7. Yes, this looks good. This spot is from the light, so this will not be here. This changes with the light. You can see maybe there are a lot of pixels, but you can see the change from the light. Doesn't matter too much because we're gonna change that later. Now I think to this wall that I have over here, I want to change a little more about it. I think I want to increase this roughness to, let's say, 0.7. And yes, I'll leave it like this. I feel it looks good. Okay, so this is it. This is how you create the texture for the walls and the floor. In the next lesson, we're gonna create the texture for the stairs, the fence, and also the windows. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!